Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Build Your Best Life, Blueprint for Success. I am so excited to have you here today. You could have been anywhere else, so we are super excited that you decided to join us. And my special guest today is Pastor Leonardo A. Allen Jr. How are you? You're on mute.
I am doing very well. Thank God for life. And I'm excited to be a part of Blueprint for Success. I'm happy to be a part of your platform once again.
Super, wonderful. Glad to have you here.
To build your
Yes. How is the
and
family?
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Everybody is doing very well.
Great, great, great. So, yes, everyone, we are celebrating. This is our first broadcast for the month of April. It's already April. So this month we are talking about peer pressure will derail that blueprint. Peer pressure.
Yes, it will.
Yes. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So before we get started, I just want to thank everyone for everything that you do, for your prayers, your financial support, your comments, your your shares. We would not be here and successful if it was not for everyone that engages with Build Your Best Life. So we thank you so very much. And before we get started here, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you're new to some people, and tell us what's going on, what you like to do, and how's your blueprint for success going?
Well, as you can see here on my name description, I'm a pastor here in Nassau, Bahamas. I have been pastoring for, I'll say in total 6 years. I'm also a coach, trainer, and speaker with the John C. Maxwell program. That's an international program. I have been married for 12 years now. My wife and I together, we have 4 beautiful daughters. One of my daughters, my oldest daughter, she got married last year, September. So I'm also very well engaged in the school programs here in the Bahamas, where I help some of the young men, a few of the schools here, where I help some of the young men to build their best life. We work a lot with at-risk young men, and I'm now seeing the indebtedness of what it is. You know, I've been through some things, but I'm now seeing the indebtedness of what some other young men actually face and what they are dealing with, and we're trying to help them through the difficulties of their lives.
Yes. Well, I love it. Anytime I hear anyone working with our young men, they are dear to my heart. So I love it. So, again, we're talking about.
Yes, I know how that goes.
Yeah. We're talking about peers. And, Peggy, a lot of times when people talk about peers, they immediately think about teens and young adults. But everybody has peers. I don't care if you're baby boomer, Generation X, millennials, Generation Z,
Yes.
we all have peers. And peers can be supportive. That can be that group of people that are with you, that are pushing you, that are cheering you on. But again, there are those who may not. But when those people are
Mhm.
cheering you on, uh, that's a good thing. But peer pressure can have a lot of power attached to it, and that can be both positive and negative.
Negative. Yes.
But when we think about peer pressure and just how powerful it is, a lot of times it is so powerful because people want to just fit in. Nobody wants to be themselves or, be the example, but they want to fit in. So, Pastor Allen, why do you think that there is such a strong desire for individuals to want to fit in or be inclusive in different groups, regardless of the consequences that may come out of them being fitting in that group?
I believe it has a lot to do, firstly, with identity crisis. Especially if you're thinking about negative consequences or consequences in general, it has a
Mhm.
lot to do with identity crisis. Here's the reason why I said identity crisis, because I know myself. There was a time, not, and you descriptively said it. It's not just young people, but even you reaching that adult stage, and you want to actually fit in. You want a grouping to be a part of. It had a lot to do for me with identity, trying to find out who I was at the time, not understanding my purpose, not understanding my value. And a lot of times, people, number one, they don't understand their identity, who they are. They don't understand their purpose, what they were created to do. And they don't understand their value because of maybe the environment that they came up in. The environment that I came up in, I didn't understand my value until now. I didn't understand it back then. But a lot of people want to fit in because a part of that, even not concerned about the consequences of it, is because they want to be a part of something that seems great. They want to fit into that circle. There's a time in my life, I wanted to be a part of the grouping of men, the brotherhood, and I found myself, involving in groups, and finding myself on the bad end of the stick, getting deep involved in substance abuse, and staying out late at night, and just started to go to the wrong direction. And at that point, the guys, they were like, man, you need to stop doing that. For me, I realized that if I continued on that path, then things would have happened that I really didn't want to happen. So I had to rethink my decision.
Okay, that's good. So everybody here have to think about that identity crisis. Identity crisis. So
Yes,
an
identity
individual
crisis.
an individual can have a high IQ. Uh, when you look at a scale of 1 to 10, they can be a 10 as far as their beauty, their body type, their physique. They can come from a middle or income
Yes.
family. They can have multiple talents such as writing, high tech, engineering, music, stuff like that. Yet they have all of that going for them, but they care about what others are saying. So,
Uh-huh.
what's the thing that what's the thing with caring about what others? Uh-oh. All right, I guess Pastor Allen's having a little technical difficulties. We're gonna wait till he comes back in. But if you've just joined us, we are talking about peer power, and that power is related to everyone, regardless of whatever generation you may be from. You know, most times when you hear peer pressure, people immediately think about um, teens, but it can be anybody. All right. So, yes, asking. So, when we think about caring about what others think about rather than thinking, why do we think about what other people are thinking or saying rather than thanking God for all these blessings that we have?
I believe it comes from the fact that it's part of humanity for us to think about what people have to say about us, or you know what the Bible says about words. Words have a lot of power. There's death and life in the power of the tongue. And I think, because if you say something that is positive, it's going to build their self esteem and help them to understand that they have self worth. And if you perhaps speak something that is negative, it's going to destroy individuals emotionally. And I believe the mere fact that we are humans and we think about what people have to say or what they think about us is the mere fact that we sometimes value who people are. And we believe that these individuals, if they say something, it's going to take away from who we are. And we have to understand who we are. The problem still goes back to understanding the identity of an individual. Once we understand our identity and value, sometimes you would get to the point that if someone says something to you, it doesn't take anything away from you. But because of the mere fact that we are human, it makes a difference to us. So we would be more concerned about what people think than actually who we are, and giving God thanks for who He created us to be, because the Bible says that He created us in His image and His likeness. And when we understand that we were created in the image and the likeness of God, and we were fearfully and wonderfully made by Him, and we are the apple of His eyes, it doesn't matter what someone may think or say about you.
All right. That's good. Thank you. Uh, so, Yvonne, peers can assist each other through age related changes. Just say it is someone that's young, they're changing schools, they have different friends, maybe they had to move. And so now they're like in a strange environment. They have to go to a new school. Excuse me. They may be worried about academics. So peers can be great allies as people navigate through life. So it's not that
Yeah,
all peers are bad, but these examples are, of course, related to positive peer pressure. So if that pressure is positive, that's a good thing. Unfortunately, negative peer pressure is powerful as well, and it is so strong that a peer around you can actually impact how you talk or how you react in a situation, because of having a negative peer around you that's maybe been pushing you, bullying you, and they look at you, Deacon Holmes, and they don't have to say anything, but they can be right there, and you would not respond the same way you would if they weren't there. So, what makes, and I've
right.
seen this with my son, what makes an academically savvy teen, so you got it going on intellectually, but you'll let an unintelligent peer push you to stop doing your very best. So where you were making A's or B's, your peers tell you that that's not cool, man. That's not cool. You study all the time. You're just a nerd. So why does that smart person allow that person that's not studying or whatever push them into not doing their very best?
sometimes people want to fit in, and it depends on the impact that somebody have on their life. I recognize that even persons of that magnitude, they have an issue with self confidence, and when you lack self confidence, you would sway to the left. If you know you're going right, and hey, I'm doing something that is meaningful here. I'm making a valuable contribution to my life, my family life, those around me, my school, whatever, my other peers. But then, if you lack that confidence in your ability to do what you're doing, you're gonna sway to the wrong side, and that's what happens to a lot of persons. And you said something that is so important, and I have to plug this in because I know that there was a time when I actually hang with persons of that same mindset. Oh, why you got to go back to school, or why you gotta try to upgrade, why you got to do all of these things. And I started to believe that. And I must plug this in. When I started to connect with Pastor Ricardo Miller, Coach Ricardo Miller, he wears so much hats. When I started to connect with him, he helped to pull me. He helped me to understand my purpose beyond where I was, because there are some people, they would be going up the ladder and they will not carry you with them. As long as you're not doing as good as them or better than them, they are fine, and they would encourage you to go in a direction that will cause you to fail, because they don't care about your success. But I understand that he cared about my success, and there were times when and that haven't stopped. I mean, we are growing in our own spheres of influence now. He's where he's at, and he's doing what he's doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. But there are times when we connect. But because of him, the impact that he made on my life, and the information that he shared with me, it helped me to realize the ability that I have, and it helped me to understand my self-worth and my value. So persons like that deserve to understand their value and don't allow themselves to be swayed because of what someone think about them.
All right. Yeah. And so that's one thing that, as believers, as mentors, we need to assist our young men and others in gaining that self confidence, because there are a lot of them that, will sway to that. Well, I want to fit in, because they don't have that confidence, or, because that person is doing something else. Maybe I want to look like them. I want to be able to hang with them. So, I have to act like them. And again, like you stated, that has to do with that low confidence or low self esteem. So,
Yes, a
yeah.
lot
So,
to do with it.
yeah. So I know you mentioned earlier, that you work with young men. So do you find a lot? I mean, is it kind of even, or do you find more that are trying to fit in, or more that's trying to stand out and be themselves?
What I've seen, because we deal a lot with uh, at-risk young men, and most of them, they tend to fit in, want to fit in because of the. Uh, I do believe that it has a lot to do with the environment as well, because mentally they're not strong to withstand the prayer pressure, and so they tend to go in the direction of negativity as opposed to positivity. But I always tell the individuals that I work with that we have to be consistent in their lives, because humans, we are creatures of habit, and if we are more consistent with them, empowering them with positive affirmation, letting them know that They have greatness on the inside of them. Some of them are now, some of them are now going in a more positive direction. It's going to take a little bit more time, with our consistency and efforts. But I'm seeing like there's a small percentage right now who is now working towards making a positive change with the short time that I have been working with them. They're now working towards making a positive change, and that's a good thing that I've noticed.
Okay, that's good. And everybody out there, put this in the chat. Good evening, Elder Orzi Lewis. Put this in the chat. No, I will not worry about what others say because I will stand out. I will not worry about what others say because I will stand out. Put that in the chat because I think that that is something good. We should tell ourselves that every day because, that's not just something that's for young people. We have a lot of
Yes,
older people, seasoned people the same way. Because, like you said, as you became better in your craft and did different things, not everybody wanted to see you succeed. So that comes at every age. And then some people will succumb to that. And it's like, oh, okay. So that group over there, they seem to be getting all the promotions and everything, but they're always late. They always take 2-hour lunches. So, maybe I need to hang with them. No, you don't. You need to, whatever we do, we need to do what? For the glory of God. So we need whatever talents He gave us, we need to work with those talents and do the very best we can. And if that means standing
exactly.
out, hey, we want to stand out. Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate that. Yes, we will stand out. That's a good thing to do. All right, as we prepare to close, Pastor Allen, what can parents do to assist their children in managing those hormonal changes along with negative peer vibes as they strive to build their best lives? Because as teenagers, they have all kind of hormonal changes going on. The voice is changing, the glands are changing, the mind is doing different stages as they life changes as stages. They have different thought processes, whatever. So they have that plus negative peers. And so our parents need to step in sometimes and assist them because we don't want all of that negativity and not knowing what's going on to bring them down.
Parents have to be that positive reinforcement. Also, they have to give some affirmation and be their child's best support system. Because after the world has affected them negatively, those around them, their peers, you have to be your child's greatest support and let your child know that he or she, they are valuable, they are meaningful, and they are champions. If you don't be that positive impact in their lives, you will find that they will role model somebody else's life. So I always suggest to parents, you be the role model that you want your child to follow. Because if we don't do that, our children will look at the world and follow what the world is doing. And that is something that we can see right now. We can see right
Right.
now some of the negative things, some of these same individuals our children wants to follow. We can see what's going on in the world right now as it relates to that. So you have to, as a parent, you have to be a positive reinforcement for your child, be the greatest support, and always give your child positive affirmations.
All right. All right, parents, you heard it. Positive affirmations, be that positive reinforcement. And what was the third one? be that role model. Definitely be that role model. But just like I was
Be a
talking about
support.
last week, you never know who is watching you, and the generations that we have now, they're not so prone to do as you say. They may listen to you and they may be respectful, but they're going to be watching you. So you can't tell them you don't drink, you don't use drugs, but they see you doing it all the time. So you have to be that positive role model.
Right.
Yes. They need all the positivity that they can get. All right. So I think this was a very good topic because those peers are going to be with you for the rest of your life. So you have to make that decision that I'm going to be who I am, who I was made to, and I'm not going to allow those peers to pull me down.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. So you want to give us your closing thoughts, Pastor Allen?
Yes, for us to continue to build our best life, we have to be consistent. Be consistent. Remember who we are. We were created in the image and the likeness of God, and at the end of the day, He have a great purpose for our lives, and for us to see that blueprint, the blueprint for our success we need to always have a vision, set goals for our lives, and be the best managers and stewards of our lives and helping others.
Amen. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, be consistent. That's one of my favorite words here, consistency. Too many times
Yes,
we start something
consistency.
and we don't carry it through, so we need to be consistent. So I love that. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in today.
Yes,
And I hope that you got something from this conversation. And again, this month, that's what we're going to be talking about, how peers can cause your blueprint to derail. So you have to be very, very careful again of who those you allow in your circle and whose circle you jumping into. Be very, very careful.
exactly. Exactly.
Yes. So please join us Thursday. Thursday we will our topic is don't disregard the signs. Don't disregard the signs. So please join us if you can for Thursday Live of Coach Deborah, and that is our topic for that day. And again, this year, along with us talking about blueprint for success, we are declaring Jeremiah 29:11 over your lives. And we must
Yes.
remember that God
Those-
wants to have the plans that He desires for us. So He desires what? Put it in the chat. Everybody that follows know what I'm going to say. I know Pastor Allen knows that prosperity. He wants us to have prosperity, not disaster, and a future that we hope for. So please, please, please make sure that you follow the plans that God has for you and incorporate them into your blueprint for success. Work for it, and you will be successful. Please remember that building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. Follow us at www.buildyourbestlife.org. We are here to support our young men and encourage our mothers with sons. So thank you so much for your prayers, all of you that are helping support our 501c3. I love you all. Take care. And I hope to see some of you Thursday. And again, thank you so much, Pastor Allen, for being my guest today. So thank you, everybody, so much, and have a good night. Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Hello? Chris.
Hey, I was letting you know I'm on the way.
Okay.
Passing come off now, so I'll be at a little bit.
All right.
What my man doing?
Oh, I was in here doing a live. He out there with Dan. You didn't hear me talking?
Where Pooh be at?
In there with Dan.
I'm assuming neither one of them laid back down.
You know, the first thing Grayson had to do, we had to tell him he had to wait till Granddad to come. You know, he had to go driving. Yep.
Other than everything been good?
Yes, sir.